my name's Jason Girdner and I'm the CEO of TECOBI, and I'd like to personally take the time to welcome you to our family. We look at all of our team members and our clients as family. My wife and myself built this company from the beginning, and you'll meet Scarlett as you use our products and services in the future. One thing I want to take the time to explain to you is what I did to eliminate a lot of the follow-up legwork that you would have to do inside of a CRM. TECOBI is a text messaging platform, but more importantly, it is a follow-up machine that makes you far more efficient at keeping up with customers to see if they're ready to talk about buying a vehicle. Normally in a CRM, what happens is so let's say you get 100 leads this month, about 80 of them are going to be people that you have to follow up with. Inside of a CRM, you would set a reminder task, then you'd have to go back to that lead and either make a phone call, send an email, or send a text message. When you're inside of TECOBI, we build a pipeline so that you start sending what we call follow-up text blast. These are basically text blasts that are going to hit all those leads that are in that 80% that normally need to be followed up with manually. So with the push of a button, you can send a message to the customers, something similar, are you still looking for a vehicle? And then when the customer replies yes, that's someone you're going to make a phone call to try and set an appointment on. Using this process, I personally was able to go into a dealership, make 100 outbound phone calls in one day, received about 15 inbound phone calls, and set 28 appointments in one single day by myself. The system is extremely efficient at helping you get customers engaged. We don't want to get you in the system texting back and forth with the customers. Our team of text ninjas is actually going to be able to help you with texting the customers. What we really need you to focus on is picking up the phone and making a phone call to that customer. It is highly important that you set the appointments over the phone. I want to take a little time to explain why. When you're texting someone, you can't hear tone of voice. You can't hear the context. It's easy for someone to lie to you over text message versus being on the phone. So to really sell the appointment and get the customer into the dealership, you need to do that phone call on the phone. Some customers are going to push back on you and they're going to say, I only want to communicate via text. It's perfectly fine to text message those customers. But the vast majority of appointments that you set using TECOBI should be done on the phone. That is highly important to make sure that your show rate stays where it needs to be so that you're successful with our program. We keep you going forward with customers, not having to remember to come back. There's something we have in our system called pausing a lead. I want to go over that real quick. You're going to get more training on this from your performance manager, but I want to go over the concept of what the pause message does. The pause message allows you to send a text message at a later date and time to that customer. So let me give you a couple of examples where you could use this. One is going to be, let's say you call a customer and they say, call me in an hour. Instead of having to remember to call that customer in an hour, you set a text message to go out to them in 1 hour, and then when they reply, you know that they're available and you can make that phone call to them. The other instance where you would actually use this, there's lots of different places, but one of the other instances on the other side of the spectrum is, let's say you're working a lead and you unfortunately lost this customer to another dealership. They bought a car somewhere else. Normally in most dealerships, this is a flat out dead lead. We know that 9 out of 10 salespeople do not follow up with their customers post-sale. So what you would do is set a pause message that's going to go out to that customer in 3 to 5 months, just to make sure that the car they purchased from another store is treating them right and see if they have any questions. When they reply, you can set another pause message in about another 6 months to see if they're starting to think if they want to trade that vehicle in. So I wanted to explain the extremes on pause messages. You can do it from anything for I need 5 minutes, all the way up to someone who bought a car that you want to follow up with and make sure that you get them when it's time to trade in that car they just bought. You can also use it for people that are upside down. If the customer comes in or you find out that they owe more money on their vehicle and they can't get into a new one, you would set a pause message to go out to that customer to see if they're in a better spot in 3, 4, 6 months, depending on how much negative equity they had. You can use it for people with bad credit. Someone comes in, they can't get financed, you can shoot them a text message in 6 months to see if they've paid all their bills on time. When the customers reply to these text messages, that's when you're going to make the phone calls out to them. We don't want you wasting time calling a bunch of people that we don't know are ready to talk about buying a car. That's what our system is built to do. Think about it. How often are you in the CRM and you're about to call a lead and you've seen 15 times someone has left a voicemail for this customer, but you have to complete that task, so you call and you leave another voicemail. Do you feel like you're wasting your time with that? Some of our clients are so successful that this past Monday, we sent 100 text messages to people in their pipeline, or sent 500 text messages to people in their pipeline, and we had 100 customers waiting for a salesperson to give them a call. 100 customers that were ready to talk right now about buying a car. That's what we help you do. We're not trying to eliminate the phone. We're trying to eliminate the tedious follow-up that takes place inside of CRMs. I know this because I've used every CRM there is. You name it, I've used the CRM. I've always been frustrated with them. I'm a salesperson. That's what I was. That's the first thing I ever did in my career in the car business was sell. I had a lot of leads that I had to manage, and I've used a lot of CRMs, and I was always frustrated with how much they slowed me down. That's why I built TECOBI. I taught myself how to write software and built this software with these two hands right here. I built it because I was tired of doing mundane, busy follow-up work inside of a CRM that didn't result in talking to a customer. It was really wearing me down, and there had to have been a smarter way to follow up. Well, we have invented that way to follow up, and we welcome you aboard, and you're gonna get all the training you need, but it's gonna take a little bit of a mindset change. The way you used to follow up with customers is gonna be completely different inside of TECOBI. If you try to follow up with these leads in your CRM and you don't follow our process, the dealership will not sell cars. There's some things that we need you to do inside of the system. It's very simple things, like calling leads when they first come in. If you call those leads when they first come in, you're going to get about 40% of them to answer the phone, and you should be able to set appointments on half of those. You want to get those appointments out of the way, because if you set them on the phone, it takes 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes to talk to the customer. If you do it over text message, it drags the conversation out, and you'll find yourself having a 5-day conversation with someone that you could have just picked up the phone and set the appointment in 5 minutes. So we welcome you aboard, and we sure hope that you embrace this way of following up with your leads. If you ever have any questions, you can reach me on Facebook. I'm always available. Jason Girdner, Girdner. I'm also inside of all the messenger groups. I'm constantly available for our clients. If you have any suggestions, I'm always open to listening to them. Really hope you the most success in the world on the program, and I hope you sell a ton of cars. Make it a great day.